Good afternoon. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Traffic Authority. Today is March 16th, 2026. It is 4 o'clock. First order of business is roll call. Today we have with us Commissioners Nate Sumter, Ron Palladino, Tony Lopez, Fran Collier-Clemens, and myself, Barbara Smith. Moving on to public participation. Is there anyone who is here who would like to speak during public participation?
Lingle, you're unmuted.
Go ahead, Ms. Langle. Please just state your name. You have 3 minutes to speak. I believe you are unmuted, but we can't hear you. Delane, do you see any issues there?
He has a microphone with sound.
Yeah, maybe try turning up your microphone, Leanne. We can't hear you.
Appears to be muted, but
Yeah, Liam, maybe you should try coming off and back on.
All right, while we're waiting, is there anyone else who would like to speak? Please raise your hand.
Mr. Magda, you're unmuted.
Hi, yeah, I could speak for Leanne. I think she was just going to bring up the Marvin Elementary PTA walkathon, but it looks like it's a little bit lower in the agenda. So Leanne and I can speak to that as we get to it.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, is there anyone else who would like to speak? Please raise your hand.
There is not there.
Okay, so we can go ahead and close public participation and move on to the acceptance of the minutes. First of the Traffic Authority minutes from January 26, 2026. Is there a motion, please?
so moved.
Okay, are there any corrections, changes, deletions?
I have none. I have
All
none
right.
there.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, Mayor, I was not at the last meeting, so I'm excluded.
Okay, so, oh, well, that's the January meeting or the,
Yeah.
you
Right.
mean the special meeting?
No, the January meeting.
Oh, okay, all right, so,
Okay.
Mr. Sumter is abstaining from the January
Abstaining,
26th meeting. And
Abstain.
then on to the special meeting of March 9th, 2026. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand or say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I abstain.
Okay. All right. Ms. Collier-Clemens abstains. All right, moving on to new business. First is item A. Approve proposed partial road closure for the Marvin Elementary School PTA walkathon. Will someone please move that item?
I move item A.
Okay,
Second by.
so moved by Ms. Collier-Clemens. All right, go ahead. I'll turn that over to who's any.
Ms. Lingle, you're unmuted. Can you speak now? Ms. Magda, you're also unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, so we are planning to do the Marvin Elementary School walkathon and walk from Marvin Elementary School down to Calf Pasture Beach and back with the children. I believe, yep, there's the path that we'll be taking, and I believe there's a couple, well, one road in particular that will be closed, the Calf Pasture Beach Road on one side, while we're walking. It's a 2-hour time period. I don't know if there's any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
I had one question about the routing of the traffic. It said the northbound lanes are closed on Calf Pasture Beach. And I couldn't determine from the map where anyone coming out of the beach area, how do they travel? Which way do they travel to go north?
They would go down Cannafield. So right when they came out of the beach, they would then take a right onto, I believe it's called Cannafield Ave, and then follow that up. Kind of goes back behind the elementary school by the golf course, and then would be able to come out on the other side of Marvin Elementary School.
Okay, so the red arrowed line is where the northbound traffic would detour. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Jill. This is the return of the traditional walkathon. How long's it been since you've had it?
It was, I think, the year before COVID. So I think the
Mhm.
fifth graders at the school, that was the
Mhm.
last group that actually was able to do the walk to the beach. So all of the younger students have never done it before.
Okay. Is this the traditional path that you've taken in the past?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
same path.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Will there be any need for the traffic guidance with the police department at all? I'm not quickly seeing that.
I believe Leanne said that there would be a police vehicle. Yes. I think it's just one police vehicle that would need to be there.
If I may, Ms. Magda,
Sure.
in previous correspondence between the police and me and Miss Langill, we had said that we would also have some police at the other end, at the south end, and
Oh,
also
okay, so
there's
it's
there's
two
a certain
police.
spot, three total. So there's also a certain spot where the kids would be crossing into Shady Beach and then doing a loop around Shady Beach. So we wanted to just have another post there, so that it would be three total.
Oh, three total. Okay, yeah, no problem. Sorry, I'm kind of filling in.
Thank you.
We have some feedback there. Any other questions?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
I have
All right.
none, Mayor.
All right, seeing none, all in favor? Say
Aye.
aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All righty. Congratulations, ladies. Have fun with your run.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item B, which is the proposed partial road closures for the Gregory Burnett Senior Memorial 5K
I moved
and
this.
fun run.
I
I'll
moved
stop.
That item,
Okay. Who moved that?
Mr. Sumter.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sumter. I'm very glad to see this on the agenda.
Yes.
So who will take this, please?
Yes, Mayor. Good afternoon and good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Morris Red. So I'm the event organizer. I'm a part of the fraternity that Mr. Burnett belonged to, Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And so we wanted to honor him this year and hopefully in subsequent years, this being hopefully the first annual with a 5K. As many of you all know, Gregory enjoyed running. He enjoyed coaching as well as refereeing. And then also one of his passions was going to the beach. So it was appropriate, even though we started off with different locations, it was appropriate that we do the run at Calf Pasture Beach. The map is up there. It's a little small, but we're proposing it actually on May 3rd. It says on the agenda May 9th because originally it was scheduled for May 9th, but there were some complications after we communicated with TMP and the police department. So we moved it up 1 week to the Sunday, May 3rd, still the same time. Well, no, that's not right. 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. in terms of the entire event, set up from 7 to 9, the event from 9 to 12, the 5K, and then from 12 to 2, have opportunity to clean up, break down everything. So yeah, there you go. So 7 to 2 here. So the event again will be on May 3rd. We have about 35 volunteers that will be participating, some of which are youth from the various high schools, Brian McMahon and Norwalk High School, as well as many of the members of our fraternity. We are raising funds for a scholarship fund. And so the event is hosted by ANEW, which is our foundation. And so all funds will be tax deductible, and it'll go directly into our scholarship fund. What else? There'll be 4 officers that we will need. We contacted the police department and had many conversations about this. So 4 officers will be in the area to help with traffic control. And what else? We will be vending no food. We will provide refreshments for the runners and the walkers in the form of like granola bars, packaged food, and or maybe fresh fruit, bananas, oranges, and bottled water. If food trucks come, I'm not sure how that process works. We're still working that out with the health department. But if food trucks come, I know that only 2 can be at Calf Pasture Beach at a time. So we would have them, but they would have to have their own approval from the health department. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
If I could, I'd just like to confirm with both the police department and TMP that the May 3rd date has been all set and that we just have a technical correction in the paperwork to make.
Yeah, it was communicated to us late Friday night, and Rebecca Kovacs from Recreation and Parks confirmed that Calf Pasture Beach was available to be used for May 3rd. As far as as far as us, we if it works for the police, then it works for TMP for the road closure.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay. And Dr. Red, I just have to ask, will you have everyone wearing purple?
The shirts will be white, but they have a purple logo with
Excellent.
bearing Gregory's image on it, running track. So yes.
Excellent. I'll make sure to have my purple on that day too.
Fantastic. We
In
look
his
forward to
honor.
it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Red. Are there any further questions or concerns anyone has? Okay, all in favor of the item as amended with the May 3rd date, say aye.
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 Opposed? And abstentions. All right, that passes
Thank you all.
unanimously. Thank you. Okay, next item is item C, approved the proposed full road closure for the Norwalk Earth Day Festival. Do I have a motion, please?
I move item 5.
Okay, thank you very
section
much.
D.
Ms. Collier Clemens, and who's here to speak to that? Oh, I see. It's Brad Craighead. Hi, Brad. And Johan.
Hi, Madam Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Ben, and members of the committee. So my name is Johan Lopez, one of the coordinators of the Earth Day Festival in the Green. I'll provide a little background on the event, and my colleague Brad Craighead will go through the traffic and parking plan. So the festival brings together environmental and nonprofits and businesses, speakers, community groups to network and promote environmental sustainability. And so the event includes live music, a variety of food vendors, exhibitors, and educational displays, in addition to walks. So last year we had about 70 vendors and exhibitors and approximately about 1,000 attendees throughout the course of the event. This year we expect to have 80 exhibitors and vendors together and approximately 1,500 attendees, obviously not at once, just throughout the course of the event. And so given the growing popularity of the event and ongoing efforts from our coordinating committee and our volunteers to increase community accessibility to the event, we are also working to provide transportation to and from the festival via the transit district by having pickup locations around the city to be able to increase accessibility for other families and individuals that want to attend. So hopefully this will increase not only accessibility, but it'll help reduce any potential traffic and parking inconveniences. And hopefully also at the same time promote the use of public transportation to these types of events. And in addition, all the volunteer staff will be distinguishable by wearing these bright colored vests, as we did last year, and will be reminded to report any sort of unusual or suspicious activity. And with respect to alcohol, since alcohol is being served again this year, we will hire an officer for the area where alcohol consumption is being permitted. And of course, as we did last year, we'll hire 3 officers to cover the 3 closure locations for the entirety of the event. So now, if there's any questions, I'll turn it over to my colleague Brad, who can kind of go over the parking and traffic plan.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Are there any questions for either Johan or for Brad?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead, Commissioner Lopez.
For Mr. Lopez, with regards to your reference to the liquor, will that be separated per the required protocol?
Mr. Lopez, do you mean the map?
Where the service of the alcohol will be
served?
served?
So on the map, it's highlighted by the green where it's labeled beer garden. So that's what we're calling it.
I see.
That's a location where we're confining the consumption of alcohol to.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, my question is to Mr. Lopez. How is advertisement to the public going to be done that there will be bus and transportation to the Earth event?
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, so right now we're still finalizing the logistics with the Newark Transit District, and once we finalize that, we're gonna advertise it through the channels that we're currently using just for the event in general, which is collaboration with the city, social media, our networks, pretty much any avenue that we have to advertise that we're using for the event. We're gonna use that space as well to advertise for the pickups.
Okay, now as I recall, I think this is the same event where the primary focus was for people to walk to this event and not drive and park. Is this the same event?
This is the same event. Yes, we encourage people to get to the green without a machine. So at this event in the morning, we also have some walks from, let's say, City Hall, from other locations to the green. So this event also tries to promote alternative modes of transportation for those who are attending.
Other than automobiles and buses.
Exactly. So that's why hopefully with this idea that we have of trans or busing people in, we can kind of sort of mitigate some of the traffic problems and as well as encourage people to take the bus to these types of events.
So how prominent in your advertising is your mission to encourage people to not use vehicles to get to this event?
Well, I don't. Brad, are you there? Brad, are you familiar to answer that question?
I can actually help answer that question, Fran. Because our communications department is working very closely with the Earth Day folks, and we can make sure that through our social media and through our newsletter to get that information out to encourage people to take public transportation. I myself take Wheels to You every year to the Earth Day Festival. But Johan,
yes.
Can I just ask, working with Matt Pence at the Transit Authority, are there like particular bus lines, or will there be special buses that day, or is it just the regular runs that will be advertised?
Thanks, Mayor. No, I think these are going to be specialized wheels to the one that you just mentioned.
Yeah, wheels.
Yeah. Okay. So it's either one or the other. It's pretty much up to us. But I think it's going to be specialized. So just for the event.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have none, Mayor.
I have
Okay.
none.
Okay, great. It's a great event. It's grown exponentially every year. And, Chief, did you have any comments? The police have done a tremendous job each year, and we really appreciate those efforts.
No, the past couple of years gave us an opportunity to work out the logistics with
Mhm.
Mr. Craighead and Johan. So this is a great event, just the way it's planned right now. Everything's set.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I'll
Thank
go
you,
ahead and call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Thank you.
All right, moving on to item D, approve proposed partial lane closures and sidewalk use for the annual O'Neill's 5K. Will someone move that item, please?
I move
So-
section 5, item D.
Okay. Thank you. All right, who's here to speak to that?
I am.
Okay, hi, Mr. Gerwick. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the 13th year that we've been doing the race for O'Neill's. It's always been a popular event, and each year there's sort of a rotating group of children, child-oriented charities. This year it's Mid Fairfield Community Care Center over there on East Avenue, and over, I guess, the course of a dozen years, various charities have raised over $500,000 to benefit the various ones who have been designated for each year. So anyway, nothing really new or different, same route. And that's basically it. I don't know if anybody has any questions or.
Thank you. Questions, anyone? It's an annual event. I think we know the routine.
I have no question, Mayor.
Okay. All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? That carries unanimously. Thank you so much, Mr. Gerwick.
Thank you.
And on to item E, which is to approve the proposed full road closures for the Wall Street Sunset Market. Will someone please move that item?
I
I will
move.
move.
Okay, so moved. And we have Anna Brialt here.
Hello.
Hi, Anna. Want to
So-
give us the rundown? This is a
Yes.
new one and exciting.
Yes, it is a new one. We are launching a new market series in the summer called the Wall Street Sunset Bazaar. It's inspired by the successful Sono Saturday Market, but in the Wall Street Historic District on River Street. We have 4 dates in the summer. They're going to be on every month's second Saturday. So that's May 9th, June 13th, July 11th, and August 8th. The event will run in the evening, different than the Sono Saturday Market, which runs in the morning. So the event hours are 5 to 9 p.m. with the road closure of River Street starting at 3, and the road will open back up at 10 p.m. The only road that will be closed is River Street. You'll still be able to access Yankee Doodle Garage through Burnell Boulevard. And we anticipate around 25 to 30 vendors to be at the event each month. And we'll also be serving alcohol provided by BJ Ryan's and maybe Greer. And if you came to our event on the 7th, the Melt event, it's almost the same setup with the beer garden being around BJ's area, and you'll be able to roam around and shop and, see live music. So it'll be a good time. And the businesses did really well at the Melt event. They were incredibly happy. So I think having a monthly event in this area will be very, very beneficial to all of them.
Anna, can I just ask, will there be some of the same vendors as you have at the Sono Saturday Market, or entirely different types of vendors?
You'll definitely see some of the same faces there, but I think we'll get more of a, I don't know what word, hip, if that makes any sense, a hip crowd of vendors. Some people aren't available in the mornings. They would rather do an evening event. So we'll see new faces for sure.
Okay, great. I know the melt was hugely successful. We heard some feedback this morning that the businesses did record business that day, and I know that the businesses on Wall Street are really thankful, really grateful for these types of events. So looks good to me. Any questions or comments from anyone?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none, Mayor.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, that passes unanimously. And Anna, I know you're sticking around for the next one, which is item F, proposed full road closures for the Sono Saturday Market. Is there a motion, please?
I move item 5.
Thank you.
Item F in section 5.
Ms. Collier-Clements, thank you. Anna, take it away.
All right, we're returning to Sono with the Sono Saturday Market happening on the last Saturday of every month in summer. So those dates are May 30th, June 27th, July 25th, and August 29th. We got a lot of feedback from vendors last year saying they wanted to extend the hours, so we did so. The event starts at 11 a.m. and it'll go all the way until 3 p.m. with the road closure beginning at 8 a.m. and the roads opening back up at 4 p.m. And that closure is directly in front of 50 Washington Street, all the way up to the entrance of the Webster Street lot and the train bridge on the other side. And Madison Street and the rest of Washington Street up until MLK Drive will remain open to local business, so Safa Via's clients, as well as the post office.
Any questions for Anna on the Sono Market?
I have no questions.
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
Okay. Hugely successful last year. We're looking forward to it for next year. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And that carries unanimously. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
All right, next item, proposed full road closures for the DPW Glendenning Area Storm Drainage Improvements Project. Will someone please move the item?
I'll move that item.
Mr. Sumter moves the item. I believe Paul, are you taking this?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the Traffic Authority. Thank you for having us and letting us do the presentation for the project. To give you a brief overview of the project, this project is in an area where there's been chronic flooding over the years, from Glendenning Street down to Cannon Street. And as part of the Woodard and Kern study that the city did, this area was studied and recommended for drainage improvements. And as part of those improvements, we're upgrading the existing drainage system. Just to give you an idea, from Betts Brook up to the intersection where the blue is on the map, that's going to be upgraded from a 36-inch pipe to a 6-foot by 6-foot box culvert. And then from there, it'll go up through an easement through the properties where there's existing pipes today to Glendenning Street. And that'll be a 48-inch pipe versus the 36-inch pipe that's there today. As part of the project, we are going to request multiple closures and then an area of alternating one way as the contractor works their way from Betts Brook up through Cannon Street and then up to Glendenning. And I can share, if you want me to share the screen, I can show you the project areas and the pipes that are being installed. Otherwise, I can just walk through the different maps that you see there and go from there. Whatever you'd prefer, I can present.
I think if you scroll down to the next map, you can see it. Oh, no, that's it. That's the one.
The area that we're talking about in this area now is as the contractor comes up to the intersection of Lane Road and Cannon Street, they're going to be installing the 6 foot by 6 foot box culvert in the middle of the road. And as a result of that, we're talking about areas that are going to be excavated approximately 10 feet to 12 feet deep. And the width of the trench is going to be over 10 feet, almost 10.5 feet wide. Because of that being right in the middle of the road, the area obviously has to be closed off because you can't get traffic in and out of there. And what we would do is we would detour traffic per the map that's there. We would have detours that would go from Newtown Avenue up through Blake Street, down East Rocks, back onto Cannon, and then vice versa.
So back down. I'm sorry.
Basically what we would do is as traffic comes from Adams Avenue, they would be detoured up East Rocks, across Blake Street, back down to Newtown Avenue. And if they were coming in Newtown Avenue, they would go up the other way.
So if anybody I'm sorry, I interjected. I'll wait my turn.
That's fine. That's fine.
If somebody wanted to get, what is that? Is that Ward Street?
Yes.
Right. So the alternative route to get to Ward that takes you to Main Avenue, what would be the alternate?
There would be a detour set up that would guide you up toward Newtown Avenue toward Blake Street. You'd make a left onto Blake Street. And then at the end of Blake, you'd make a left down to East Rocks and follow it down East Rocks back to Cannon and go out to Ward. And Ward is one way to the west. One other thing we're going to have on every one of these plans too, up on the top, you'll see where the Newtown and Blake Street intersection is. The city has a variable message sign that will be installed, and the messages as we go through the different phases of construction will be changed on that sign to add for people coming southbound, to add to the visibility so that they know which way to go.
Paul, I have a couple of questions. So when is this project going to begin, and how long will it be going on?
Okay, the goal is to try and have this advertised so that we could start construction in June or July. And if we can get it done by the end of the construction season, that would be the goal. Otherwise, it would be completed in the spring of 27.
And if you have to continue into the spring of 27, what kind of road closures are we talking about throughout the winter?
The road closures,
Just be open?
there would be, all of the areas would be backfilled. The trenches would be paved over, and then the roads would be opened. And then any final work would be done in the spring of 27.
Okay. And then I have, I know that, a few years back, you did a lot of work on that bridge there right at the park. Do you
Yes.
anticipate any issues, it causing any issues with that prior project?
No. Matter of fact, I'm glad you asked that question because some people might say, why didn't they do everything at the same time? One of the reasons is we needed to do the
very
work
different.
on that bridge at the time, and there's only one catch basin right near the bridge that has an outfall at that wall, the head wall there, the wing wall. And that is the only catch basin. This system does not tie into that system at all. It's all downstream. And one of the things that I just want to mention too, as we go through this, we're trying to avoid obviously blocking anybody in with driveways. The next section that I would talk about too would be the yellow section. And that section is along the First Taxing District Park. And what we're looking to do there is we have a pipe, once again, 6 foot by 6 foot box culvert going directly down the middle of the street. And same kind of elevations, the widths, and there's about 5 feet on one side. Maybe you'd get 7 or 8 on the other side of the excavated hole. there wouldn't be enough room for a car to go through. So that yellow section would be another closure. But
Mhm.
what we're doing is there's a sidewalk along Cannon Street Park that exists today. We will detour the pedestrian traffic up
Mhm.
to the north at the Jersey barrier, across east-west on the top, and then back down north-south so that they can get back to that sidewalk, but yet not have pedestrians within the construction zone where you have holes that deep and that large. So we're trying to keep the pedestrian traffic moving, but yet also allow the contractor to work. And this area here from East Rocks to Lane has no driveways on it at all on either side of the road. So a closure in there will allow the contractor to do what they have to do quicker and then move on to the next phase. There'll be a
Paul,
similar detour in that area.
uh-huh.
And okay, and one final question, and I don't know if this is something that, you've had an opportunity to address, but that property right there in Lane, between Lane and East Rocks, they've been through, they've asked for some zoning appeals that they've been denied, but they have a lot of work going on there. Have you been talking to that property owner just to, coordinate with them?
I was not aware about their work, but I can coordinate that with the project before it goes out to bid. Because what we're looking at doing right now is we're getting the final design work done. The drawings are about 90%. And we received Conservation Commission approval last week from the commission. And then the next phase was to do this and get the approval from the traffic authority. Because I want to include these plans, if they're approved, I want them to be part of the bid package. And then once I get the approvals for the permitting, then I want to go talk with a couple more of the residents also.
Yeah, you definitely should reach out to many of the residents in that area because, there was a lot of outcry about, what was being planned there. And, they did not receive the zoning appeal approvals that they had been seeking. But the community has some agitation about that. And so, more agitation is, it's always best to head things off at the pass.
Yes, definitely. I will have conversations with all of them. We've been talking with the people where they have the easements so far, but now that I know that, I will definitely talk with them.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
the next phase,
No, go.
phase 3,
Uh-huh.
unless there's any other questions on this map, I'll answer any
Other
questions on
questions?
this
Yes,
one.
I do. Can you, Mrs. Sadler, can you repeat the time frame? I know you said if you don't get done by a certain time, we'll go into the spring of 27, but what's the proposed cutoff time or period now this year?
We're trying to get this out to bid for June or July, and then it would go through the construction season at
Which
the end of
is?
the season. And if the contractor can work doing this, I'll have them continue to do the work as long as they can. And only if we don't make the full construction season this year would it go to spring of 27. But I want to bring your attention to one thing down on the left side of each one of the
So I'm
drawings.
sorry, but the contract season, can you define that as late September, October, just to get a sense?
Contract season, usually for construction such as this, depending upon the weather, could go to early December.
Okay. Knowing that, Paul, my question was that if you know that, and once you put it up to bid, can you indicate in your bid packages that you'd like to have them done within this year, considering what the mayor mentioned with regard to some of the residents that have some consternation? Could you
Yes.
get a part of it? So that
I can try and get them to complete it by the end of the year.
Yes. Yes.
And
At
you'll
least
notice
they-
over on the left side of the drawing,
Uh-huh.
it talks about this particular phase 2 is a full closure, the work hours, and then I anticipate it loosely to be about 3 to 4 weeks for this phase. I can't say exactly what month that 3 to 4 weeks would be yet because we don't even have a contractor. But at this point, that's kind of what I'm anticipating, and this is on each one of the drawings too.
Now, what I notice is for a job like this, is it usually some of the same contractors that are doing other city work, or is this something different? Because I notice I've seen a lot of burns around, and I notice over the years, different contractors have not been a part of the finished work. I don't know how maybe the bids didn't work out or something, but I've seen pretty much the same contractor. And one of the challenges, is it because the same contractor is doing so much other work throughout the city?
Well, one of the things we're hoping we'll get a couple of other contractors that would bid on this because it's larger drainage work versus just paving work or sidewalks or things along those lines. So I hope we get a group of people that would bid on it. But I hear exactly what you were saying. It seems like we don't get quite as many people to bid on the projects as we would like to. And it would help if we had more. That said, one of the things we've been trying to do is put in a time period that locks them in so they can't do exactly what you're afraid of. We put in a schedule where they have to agree contractually to the number of people they're going to have on the job. And that way they can't take on more work than they can handle. And if they do, they've legally agreed that they will have a certain number of people on the project and staff it accordingly to get it done as quick as possible.
Is there any way prior to them actually getting the contract that you could make that a part of the agreement? And if not, is there a penalty, or do they just, because I know the work period is not that great in this area, because you'll reach a point where the ground will begin to freeze and things like that. So is there a way to kind of hold the contractors' feet to the fire from the giddy up, as opposed to them just saying, "Oh yeah, we'll get it done"?
Well, one of the things we do now is we've been on some of the projects, we've been putting a hard deadline in instead of saying a certain number of calendar days. We've been putting a deadline of December 1st or November 1st, that kind of deadline. And in addition to that, making them fill out the form with the personnel assignments that they're going to have for the certain number of laborers, drivers, operators, and they sign that they'll have that many people on the job to complete it by that date.
And if they don't, is there a way do they get penalized, or they just kind of get a slap on the wrist and say, "Okay, just do it"?
Charging them liquidated damages is a little bit of a tricky thing because it can be hard to do. But at that point, we can ask the law office if there's anything else we can do to incentivize them to complete things on time.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
You can go to number.
So once we approve this, and the contractors then take their role, once that's defined, and accepted, at that point, are they expected to come back, that we're gonna have patrols or anything of the sort, police patrol, anything like that?
Well, when they have the closures here, they're going to have a certain number of police on the job, as well as uniformed flaggers, that kind of thing. But they'll have to, I'm hoping I won't have to come back again. If we have these periods agreed to, the goal is to not have to come back again, and the contractor will then use these plans to bid on instead of coming up with our own plan that we may or may not approve. So that's why I'm trying to put it into the bid pack the way it is.
Thank you.
Then the next section is the alternating one way, which is the yellow piece with the culvert that's going to go in, the 6x6 box culvert. That culvert is going to be down on the southern curb line, and it looks like we would be able to get alternating one-way traffic in that area while they're working. So that section in the orange would not be closed. It would be alternating one-way traffic.
Thank you, Paul. Any further comments, questions?
Paul, can I ask one question, please?
Sure.
So Paul, you're proposing to make one-way alternating traffic where the orange spot is to cover the distance of Cannon Street to the pink box? So you're going to have an officer or a flagman in the pink area and then one in the orange? And then I'm just saying that that's a long distance.
From the black line that's the next phase. The black line on the right, that would be the next phase. The orange would be alternating one way, and they would end up needing to have some kind of officers or flaggers there, yes. Because if it's alternating one-way traffic at the intersection, I would want a police officer in that area. And I believe this is a collector street anyway, so a police officer would be required.
So
That's, I'm just gonna say that's a lot of work. Because
No, I'm thinking at least 2 officers, not just one. There'd be at least 2. You're right. It is a long distance for one officer to try and
yeah,
control
it's
traffic.
a long
It's
distance to safely stop traffic back and forth just due to the
It's
gap
too long, definitely. There'd have to be at least a couple.
between the east side of Lane Road and the west side of East Rocks coming down where it blends into Cannon there. Yeah, that's we're really gonna have to slow people down there.
Definitely. Definitely. There's no doubt about it. And there might even be 3 officers required there. One on East Rocks, one over where the A is in Cannon, and then one over at the area where the next phase is the black barrier.
Understood.
So yes, I totally agree with you. It's too long of a distance for one officer to try and have to control all of that, especially on that street.
So
Paul and Chief Walsh, I just want to clarify. I think there might be a little miscommunication here. Alternating one way is only proposed for this orange area here. Work would already be
Exactly.
complete at Lane Road and in the yellow section here by the time we get to this phase. These are not concurrent phases.
Thank you, Ben.
The area in pink happens first, and the area in yellow, then the
Understood.
area in orange.
All right, thank you, Ben.
Exactly. They would be hopscotching down the road, and the other sections would be completed when they start the new section.
So this is Commissioner Collier Clemens. In the orange section, you're looking at that's phase 3, and it would be next year by the time you get to that in 2027, correct?
I hope it's this year. The
Well,
goal
now-
would be this year.
So the first
Might be
phase
later.
is the pink area, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we have a possible construction concluding in December. So then do you start phase 2, or is phase 2 worked on in conjunction with phase 1?
No, they would basically be back to back to back. They would not be in parallel paths together. They would be one after the other. So if we started in July, the pink area would be done. I think that was 5 to 9 days roughly. Then they would go on to the other area in yellow. Then they would go on to the alternating one way in orange. Then they would go to the next phase in blue.
Okay,
7 to
so
9 days.
So the construction ending date includes all phases, right?
I'm saying that all phases totally finished, topsoil seeded, ready to turn it over to the city. That would be the goal. Everything.
By December, possibly, hopefully.
That's what the goal would be.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sotnick, regarding those phases, from the pink, the yellow to the orange, then to the blue, and those months in that period that you referred to, is there any way we could have, maybe not now, we don't have one, or that you can bring to staff that, in other words, the schedule, so that at least there's a level of understanding for the record of what at least you are planning with the contractors? I know that it has to be approved by way of contract, so I get that, but it would help us too.
And down in the bottom in the left-hand corner of each page is the approximate time frame for each phase.
Okay. Well, it's there. I didn't see it at the bottom. Okay, thank
How
you.
far in advance will you be notifying those affected?
We've already started talking with the people in the easements, and then based on the mayor's recommendation for the area in yellow for the zoning approval, I'll probably be reaching out to them this week, letting them know the project is coming. And then once we have a contractor on board and a contract and a notice to proceed, we'd be handing out notices in the area, letting them know what was going on in the different phases with a little map of this section of the map. So there'd be
And-
multiple contacts with the public.
But you'll be doing that how far in advance to the project starting for that phase?
In that phase, we'll hand out the construction notices. We'll be talking with the people a couple, probably 2 or 3 weeks before at least. And then when the contractor's saying they're ready to start in a week or two, we'll hand out notices again. So there'll be multiple layers of the public being informed.
Thank you.
Paul, I'm going to also request, and I'm sure you're already on this, but we're doing the Mayor's Night Out. We set the date for April 30th, and so have this project ready to be public for that night.
Okay, with what I have right here today, I could present it today.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks great. It looks great.
And I have all
Well
the
mapped.
construction drawings in addition. The next phase is the blue phase.
I do just have one more question with regard to the time. Is that time allowable starting at 7? I saw you said 7 a.m.
That's what's allowed with the noise ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions?
I have none, Mayor.
I have
I
none.
have
Okay.
none,
This
Mayor.
project has been a long time coming. I think it's been in the works for maybe in the pipeline anyway for about 5 years or so. So it's going to be disruptive, but it's much needed. So
Right.
all in favor of the road closures, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All righty, that passes unanimously. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Moving on to the next item, which is the proposed no-through trucks regulation request to OSTA for Lawrence Street between Meadow Street and Woodward Avenue. Will someone please move that?
I'll move section 5, item H forward.
Thank you so much. And who will take that?
That will be me,
Okay.
Mayor.
Okay.
So this is a TMP initiated item based on some customer service requests that we have received over recent months and years from residents along Lawrence Street. So to give context, Lawrence Street is a local residential road in South Norwalk between Meadow Street and Woodward Avenue. As you may be aware, there's a lot of industrial uses along Meadow Street. There's also a good number of industrial uses, commercial uses along Woodward Avenue. For that reason, there are a lot of trucks kind of going between these two streets, going from Meadow to Woodward. And what our data is showing is that some of those trucks, they do use Lawrence Street as a cut through. And looking at a map, you can kind of see why they might be doing that. However, the characteristics of the street are not very conducive to truck traffic. It's relatively narrow. There are parked cars on both sides of the street. There's also a relatively sharp bend in Lawrence Street, which is difficult for larger trucks, especially to navigate. In recent months and years, we have received reports of crashes involving trucks and parked cars along Lawrence Street. In total, there have actually been 20 crashes on a pretty short roadway. Even though most of them are only property damage, it's still something that we definitely want to try to address. It also just helps the quality of life for the people on the street to have fewer trucks going up and down their local street. So for this reason, what we're proposing is no through trucks signage on Lawrence Street. So this is something that requires state approval. So we're talking about OSTA, the Office of State Traffic Administration. This is something that we've done on some other streets in Norwalk. You might see them, for example, on Wilson Avenue in Rowayton. So what we're asking for you guys to do today is just to approve our request to OSTA, and then the state themselves, they will review it using the data that we're providing and the crash history, and hopefully they accept and see our case for it, and we'll be able to legally install no through trucks regulations on Lawrence Street and help to mitigate some of these issues for the residents there.
Comments or questions?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
I have none, Mayor.
Same
No
here.
questions.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? All right, I am an aye too. So that passes unanimously. Thank you, Ben.
Cool.
And moving on to item I.
Yes.
If someone would please move the proposed speed limit change request to OSTA for East Rocks Road between Bain and Cannon Street.
So move.
Thank you. Many neighbors in that area will be very happy about this. I've been hearing about it for years. When I door knock, there's a lot of racing that goes on that street. So Ben, you're taking this one too?
Yeah. So East Rocks Road up. What we're requesting here is for a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit along the entire length of the road, all the way from Cannon Street, where Paul's project just was, and up to the north end on Bain Street. So this is about a 2.2-mile length of roadway up through the neighborhood. It's almost all residential, but as as you alluded to, there are a lot of people that go at pretty high speeds. The average speed is 30. What we're seeing at the 85th percentile is 37 miles per hour. And obviously that means that there's 15% of vehicles who are traveling even higher than 37 on average. So it's a fast roadway. And although we know that speed limit signage isn't the cure-all to the woes of the residents here, it is at least a start. And what we can do potentially is consider other traffic calming measures to support it. So we're exploring different mitigations, especially at some of the high crash locations, which seem to be occurring at certain bends on East Rocks Road. It's in the memorandum here, but near East Rocks and Allen, there's a bend where there were 9 runoff road crashes in 10 years. So we're looking at centerline rubble strips to help address that. There was unfortunately a fatality a few years ago at East Rocks and Bain Streets. And when we have some funding available, just as we're doing on West Rocks Road, we'd like to explore installing sidewalks on East Rocks Road to make it a more livable and walkable street. So starting to reduce the speeds along the entire corridor would be a start. It's consistent with what we've already done on West Rocks Road. It's consistent with speed limits on Grumman, which is also nearby. So this would help to make a more uniform speed limit throughout the entire neighborhood.
Can I just ask a question? So this is essentially you need to submit this. How long does it
Yes.
generally take in order for this to get through the whole system and post those signs?
So we've seen turnaround times, I'd say, of approximately 6 to 9 months. It's a little
Okay.
so it's State DOT, they have a lot on the plate, and they do this kind of thing for all municipalities across the state, 169 municipalities. And I will say, in recent years, we have been giving them a lot of requests because we're doing so much with our streets. So in fact, the next item you'll see helps to start consolidating some of these things a little bit more. But we separated this one out because it is a high priority location, or a high priority street rather. And
Definitely a high crash area.
yeah. There is maybe only so much we can do to push the process along, but we have good relationships with OSA and with DOT. So we know we aren't getting ignored, but unfortunately there there is a backlog
understood.
sometimes.
Understood. Won't help the residents this summer, but hopefully by next summer. Yeah, it tends to get worse in the summer for sure. Are there any other questions or comments?
I have a question with regards to the current speed limit. Is it 30?
Yes. It's actually yeah, I think it's just the default kind of city speed limit of 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
And then the signage is 30, yeah.
So, Ben, traffic signs alone or speed limit signs alone won't really do anything probably. Is there any traffic calming that can be done? I guess the traffic signs make it enforceable by the PD, but for the average person driving through it, I doubt they care about.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why, yeah, long term, we're considering different ways to calm traffic. We want to do so in a way that's relatively predictable. East Rocks Road is still going to be kind of a minor arterial roadway for a lot of people going through the city of Norwalk. So we don't want to put up too many unexpected obstructions, in the form of chicanes or unexpected curb bump outs and stuff like that. But there may be some leeway to add at least more crosswalks, for example, at certain locations, especially near Woods Pond Park. We are also working through our automated traffic enforcement safety devices. That's the speed cameras program. We have an ordinance passed for that, and although we're exploring a number of potential locations for speed cameras, this could certainly be a high priority one to consider. And at that point, hopefully the 25 mile per hour speed limit will be enforceable by the use of speed cameras.
Any other questions?
I have none, Mayor.
All right.
have
Seeing none,
none,
all
Mayor.
in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, that's unanimous. Aye, I didn't say aye. Includes me. Thank you. And moving on to our final item J, which is the proposed request to OSTA for formalized speed limits as posted on various roads throughout citywide. Will someone move that item?
I so move.
Thank you. All right, Ben, you can continue on.
Yes. So just a bit of background. If you've kind of read through some of this documentation here, there's a lot of different road segments that we'd like to address as part of this. So part of the, I guess, the issues that we're facing internally systematically is that there are a lot of roads that were posted at 25 miles per hour by the city, probably before the formation of our department, TMP. As you know, we are a relatively young department in city government, only having been formed less than a decade ago. So we have a lot of these sort of legacy signed 25 mile per hour roads throughout the city. And we are realizing, working through a lot of the other OSTA approvals, that there are a decent number of roadway segments that were never officially approved by the states at 25 miles per hour or whatever lower speed limit they're at. So we'd like to do the work now of formalizing those speed limits at the state level, so that in the future, if there's any problems with enforcement, or if we wanted to for example, install automated traffic enforcement on one of these roadways, we have all our ducks in a row, basically, to show that we're approved for the speed limit, both, internally and also by the states. So, the list of roadways where this, minor discrepancy exists is listed in the memo. I don't know if we need to go through all of them one by one. There's some more major roads listed at the top of the memo. And then there's also a second part here with a number of local roadways and collector roadways. So if the commissioners have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on a more specific level, but that's the general gist of it. So again, the whole idea here is we're formalizing what's posted out there in reality with OSTA through this documentation.
On the list on page, looking at this page, is it 92? Where you have the list of all the roads as a recap summarized? Yeah, that one. Are you including or not including Ward Street, which is 30 miles an hour, I think?
We Ward Street, this part of Ward Street right here. So
yes, that's that's the one.
So
That is
Ward Street, at least this one-way section of Ward Street, we had already actually gotten approval for a lowered 25-mile-per-hour speed limit through another request recently. I don't have the exact dates off the top of my head. This one-way section of Ward Street, where we actually just completed a sidewalk project, should officially have a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit now. The two-way section of Ward Street, that's off the map here, west of Union Avenue.
Right.
To my understanding, that's going to remain at 30 miles per hour as it is signed today.
Any reason for that? Even though it's not the subject of this.
Well, again, what the purpose of this is to formalize the existing posted speed limit. So where it's posted at 30, we're not proposing to necessarily change it at this time through this particular documentation. What we're formalizing is where it's already posted at 25. We'd like to officially make it OSTA approved at 25.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I have.
I have none, Mayor.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Ben, I've knocked on a lot of doors over all the years that I have, run for council and for mayor on all of these streets. And I've heard complaints on all of these streets about speeding. So I think 25 mile an hour, as you've stated, it's one measure, and it's not necessarily a promise of slower speeds, but it's a step in the right direction.
Certainly.
Yeah. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? That passes unanimously as well. And I have one final motion to hear.
Mayor,
I
before
move to
we,
adjourn.
Sure, go ahead. You have something?
yeah, before we close out,
Sure.
I have something I would like to get on a future agenda. I'm not sure how to move forward with that. It's an area that I think is a dangerous intersection.
Sure. Well, you can just you can email the chief and Ben and myself, and we can start the process that way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
I move for adjournment.
Thank you. Ms. Collier-Clemens moves for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. See you in a few minutes on the police commission. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.